Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today. Welcome back to another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. It's me, Vasavi Kumar, and today I want to talk to you about difficult conversations and why you absolutely need to stop avoiding them. Now, here's the thing. There is this initial fear that I think we all experience when we know we need to have a conversation about a difficult subject, whether it's in your personal life or at work. If you've gone through this, then you know that there's this, trepidation and anxiety that can often follow, even at the thought of having this difficult conversation. And it's super hurtful, not only in your personal and professional relationships, but it also really affects your self-esteem and your self-respect. The more you avoid this difficult conversation or conversations, right? It's natural. I want to say that first and foremost, it is natural to want to avoid conflict or any sort of discord, but it's an essential part of life. And it's something that I really want to help people become more comfortable with. Learning to reframe the way you think about difficult conversations is super important if you want to learn how to talk about difficult things and move through difficult conversations so that you can ultimately feel spacious and free on the inside. Because think about it. Every time you avoid having that conversation, you're thinking about it all the time. And even if you're not thinking about it, it's there. The energy that it takes to avoid a conversation is a lot more than it takes to just have the conversation. I know it may not seem like that, but the fact of the matter is, the more you avoid something, right, you're just sweeping, it's like sweeping your kitchen floor or your living room, and you're just sweeping everything under the rug, literally. And it may look clean on the outside, but the fact is, underneath your rug, it's pretty gross, right? We don't want that. We don't want that for you. We don't want you to have those unexpressed, unresolved issues just being stored in your body and taking up your precious time and energy and creative space. So being able to talk about certain things, conversations that you've been avoiding, is necessary. Okay, not only because it's important for you to speak your mind, but also because if you want to have healthy, functional relationships in your life, shit is going to happen. Stuff is going to come up. There are going to be, there's going to be awkward moments. There's going to be things that you say or the other person says that may rub you or rub the other person the wrong way. What are you going to do? Just sweep it under the rug and pretend like it doesn't exist? I mean, maybe that has worked, but up until this point. But if you're listening to this and you're nodding your head yes, then it is time for you to have those difficult conversations. Okay? Having a 10-minute difficult conversation and not avoiding a scary subject, it ensures that you stop being a victim of the situation and people in your life, period. Right? Avoiding hard conversations leads to you swallowing your feelings, which is unhealthy. It leads to resentment when you fail to address these difficult topics, conversations, things that are in between you and this person, like I said, whether in your personal life or your professional life, and it turns to blame or anger, right? And it manifests in different ways, like different illnesses, headaches, migraines, dysregulated nervous system, right? And you're just not happy because I need to have this conversation and I'm not having it. And you can avoid it, but, eventually it will catch up to you, okay? So when it comes to having difficult conversations about certain things, it's important to come from a place of respect and genuine curiosity. One of the things that I love to do when I work with my clients is to do role play. I love to go back and forth with my clients and be like, okay, you be you, I'm going to be the person that you are avoiding talking to. And we go back and forth and we just play and see how you can have this conversation. And then the end result of this role play is really to come up with a script. Now, you may be like, oh, I don't want to use a script. That feels fake. And it's not fake, because the fact is, if you've been avoiding having these conversations, it's probably because you're scared and you don't know what to say, and you don't like conflict, and you're afraid that you're going to blow up, or you don't trust the words that are coming out of your mouth. So that's why it's important that you have role play, and you also walk away with some sort of script that you can practice until it becomes and until it sounds and feels like you. We live in a culture based on avoidance and blame, which makes it easier to blame others or avoid conflict, right? And the top reasons we tend to avoid conflict is because we want to feel safe and make sure we're liked and supported by others, or we care about others and the way they feel, or we're tired of explaining ourselves, right? Being vulnerable is scary, and we don't have enough role models, except for the amazing Brene Brown, to show us how it's done and the amazing benefits that come from being authentic. Okay, so one of the things that I am really excited to share with you listening is Say It Out Loud confessionals. Dump your drama and tackle those difficult conversations. This is a 45-minute session with me where we go through, and there will be a comprehensive form that I have you fill out about the situation, about the background, about the history, about the person that you're avoiding having this conversation with. It's a 45-minute session where you and I will get on, we'll talk it out, we'll do a role play, you'll walk away with the script. You can use this for text, email, in person, over the phone. Okay, it's so important, and I am so on a mission to help all of you who are avoiding having these difficult conversations to just have them, because you are meant to be doing things in this lifetime of yours that bring you joy and bring you fulfillment and bring you contentment and happiness and adventure. And if you're just avoiding conversations, that's eating you up and taking up your mental and emotional and creative space. Okay, so the bottom line is this: a successful outcome will depend on two things: how you be and what you say. I'm not going to lie, it is risky to have those conversations. You don't know how the other person is going to respond, but more often than not, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to take a risk, and you need to speak your mind. You need to stop putting off conversations just because they're difficult, because where you stop in this area is where you stop in other areas. Where you're like, ooh, that's uncomfortable, I don't want to do it, that's going to bleed into other areas of your life, okay? They're going to eat away at you, and it's going to cause you a lot more problems than actually having the conversation and speaking your mind. So I am here to help you with this as a licensed therapist, as a coach, as someone who was raised in a family where things were either very chaotic or not talked about at all. And, it does help that, in second grade, I was voted conflict mediator for my grade. I'm just kidding. That's not really my street cred. But, even from a young age, I was like, why can't we just talk it out? Right. And so I've dedicated my life really helping people say it out loud. I'm writing a book about it. I have a podcast called Say It Out Loud. I have a group that I run called Say It Out Loud. And my brand new offering that I am so excited about will be starting August 14th. I have blocked out my entire Sunday from 9 a.m. to around 7 p.m. I'm going to be going back to back. Okay. And this is once a month. I'm going to be offering a Say It Out Loud confessional. Listen, y'all, for those of you who've been traumatized by the church, I am not Christian. I was raised a Hindu. I do not have that type of trauma with my religion or the way of life that I grew up in. So listen, if you want to skip the church, you can come to me, confess to me. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm trained. You will walk away having confidence that you can say what you want to say and have it sound like you. No more avoiding stuff in your life. Your life is way too precious. It is time sensitive. We are here for a limited amount of time. No more avoiding conversations. So if you go to the link in the description, you can go ahead and book your 45-minute session with me. It is $350. And let me tell you right now, you spending time to really focus on this conversation that you're avoiding, and then you actually having this conversation is going to free you up for the things that you need to be focusing on in your life. Okay, it's much harder to move forward when you're avoiding having difficult conversations, and it's eating away at your mental, emotional, and creative space and your creative energy. So feel free to grab your spot with me August 14th. I only have about 10 or 11 spots left. Please book your time with me, fill out the form, do all that stuff. I can't wait to get on the phone with you for your Say It Out Loud confessional. I love you, and it's time for you to say it out loud. Catch you next time on another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.